I want you to first hear the terrorist after he shot and emptied his handgun, 21 rounds. There was nothing left in the handgun because he hates Jews and he has such a bloodlust to kill Jews. The terrorist who purposely purchased tickets to an event at the American Jewish Museum, I believe it's called, in D.C., he paced around and then shot four Jews, killing two point blank. A beloved young man and a young woman he was about to get engaged to her. She's from Overland Park, Kansas, Metro Kansas City. He's from Israel, working as diplomats in the Israeli American Embassy. This terrorist is from Chicago, Illinois, born and raised, Hispanic guy. He says everything that the college students on the campuses say. He says everything that the radical Islamist people on our campuses and in these massive protests in Chicago, New York City, Los Angeles, even in Dallas and such, these radical Islamic terrorist supporters, Hamas supporters. He had a kafaya, which is what all these college students and protesters have throughout America. And he says the same thing they say, just like they say it. I'll let him say it himself. Here he is after he got caught. They ministered to him inside of the museum. Jewish people did 10, 15 minutes until they said that law enforcement was coming. And they said, "This is you're inside of the Jewish museum." Then he shouted, "It's me. I did it. Free Palestine," all that kind of terrorist stuff. Outside, as the authorities took him into custody, here's what he said.
No, no, no. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
He says it just like they do on the campuses, just like they do at these rallies, the same way. He calls for the Intifada. Look at his social media posts. I'm going to read them to you. He was in the Black Lives Matter. He's a Marxist socialist. He's a member of the Socialist Party. He had a Bernie hat on in one of the things they've seen him in the social media feed. He was at the Black Lives Matter protest in 2017, so he supports it's all the leftists. As one expert said today, the man who actually founded the Jewish American Jewish Museum in D.C. 20 years ago, at this event, I should say, he said this is the conversion of radical Muslim ideology and radical left-wing ideology. That's exactly right. This is what we're seeing on our elite campuses. This is what everybody says when what Free Palestine means. Everybody that says it, this is what it means. This is, and this is my comment, this is the plan. This is what they're rallying for on college campuses. This is the end game, to kill the Jews, to kill every Jew in America, every Jew in Europe, every Jew in Israel, to wipe them off the face of the map. This is the end game of every one of these pro-Palestinian, quote unquote, pro-Hamas marchers singing from the river to the sea, including in high schools in DFW where I'm at in Plano. The same crap's going on all over. Stupid, ignorant people and lost souls find a purpose in evil. Let me play you the next piece. You have to hear this. This is a former Columbia student who was at this event, thankfully wasn't killed, interviewed by CNN, and CNN is incredulous. This clown, Sarah Snyder, is incredulous of what he says, and she keeps trying to change his thoughts. And he, Ivy League educated and a Jew, says, I saw the same thing in his eyes that I see on the Hamas protesters on our college campuses of Columbia. She says, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. He says, yes, I did. Listen to this. This is amazing. And this is what the battle is right here with the media, the left, and all this stuff.
Can you give us any sense, because you said you looked the shooter in the eyes, can you give us any sense of what you saw in him?
What I saw in his eyes, I mean, I went to Columbia for grad school, and I saw the same thing in his eyes as I saw in the eyes of all the protesters at Columbia. Nothing different between him and them.
But they did not create this horrific shooting.
Oh, no, you didn't see that. No, I know. I, with my very overweight body, sit here in a privileged, woke, leftist CNN ivory tower, and I am telling you what you see. You are wrong.
They did not, they didn't shoot.
They gave permission. They gave the permission. And they have called for this. They have called for Intifada revolution, which is the same thing he yelled last night.
Do you worry that there will be a conflation, though, of the two, those people who are speaking their mind, who really care about what is happening in Gaza, and those people who are like this person who did this horrific shooting, who intend to do harm?
A conflation. I mean, they are calling for intifada. At Columbia University, they call for intifada constantly. They're not quietly, they're loud. They're loud. You can hear it. They make recordings of themselves. So what's the difference?
Are you afraid?
Yes.
Hey, I support the terrorists on the campuses, and I'm trying to protect them and say they're not this. He says, yes, they are. Are you afraid? What the bleep do you think I am? They're murdering me. They're murdering my people in front of my eyes. This is, and I'm going to tell you this, the woman who was killed, her mom said it's because of the October 7th. And she said it's also because of Trump. So they're far left, they're leftists who hate Trump. I don't care. That guy probably is a Democrat too, going to Columbia, all this stuff. But I don't know. Most Jews are Democrat. I don't care. I stand 100% with him. He and I, and you and him and me, unless you support terrorism, we're all standing together. That's how truthful and right and just this is. This is good versus evil. That mother in Kansas City who blames Trump partially for this, which is a joke, I stand with her. She may be misguided, but I stand with her against anti-Semitism and against the terrorists, and it's all over this country. And that's why Trump has neutered Harvard further today by saying, we are taking away your ability to have foreign students. And there's a chance it may not pass, a courtroom test that they're going to take it to court. But it doesn't matter. The message is sent out. If you're a foreign student, don't go to Harvard because you may not be able to stay there. Destroy Harvard. Destroy Harvard. Destroy Columbia. Destroy them until they heal, like a dog. Now, this is great. They're starting to subpoena James Comer and the Government Reform Committee with the House Oversight Government Reform Committee. They're starting to subpoena Joe Biden's doctor, top Democrats that were with him, the aides, to find out what really went on. But also Nurse Jill, she literally and Hunter were running the White House. They have to be brought in. They have to be put under subpoena and under oath because they perpetrated this horrible hoax and a threat to this threat to democracy, much more so, as my friend Eric Erickson says, than January 6th. And then here's this: Joe Biden. This is great. This is a Washington Post columnist and socialite who says it was elder abuse, although she didn't say it 2-3 years ago. She says it now after it's safe, but nonetheless, here this Washington Post columnist is saying it's elder abuse.
You wrote that letter to Jill
Yeah, I did.
around the time of the debate.
Well,
Do you ever
I felt sorry for Joe Biden because I didn't think she was protecting him. She wasn't protecting him from himself. And after that hideous debate, right after the debate, they're in the spin room and she got his hand up and they're victory, victory, we won, it was great, great. And the next day he's off in North Carolina and making a victory speech. I thought, what were they watching? I thought it was just elder
Abuse is exactly here.
abuse, really, what they were putting
Wow.
him through.
Yeah.
Let me replay that part.
You wrote that letter to Jill.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was just elder abuse, really, what they were putting
Wow.
him through.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. She's talking about the time where she goes after the debate that Joe did. He didn't know anything. Joe, you answered all the questions. Now I promised to play that last part in yesterday's podcast of the South American political leader, major left-wing political leader Julius Malema, who even the South African president Cyril Ramaphosa, who was schooled by Trump in the White House at the Oval Office yesterday, even he has lauded him and agreed with him. So this is all a game. Let me play the last part of this: the terrorism in South Africa.
A revolution. Bomber. Brr, pa. Pa. Brr, pa. Pa.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, we've not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Puli pool. Sizogo shaya.
This is particularly like a satanic singing with hundreds or tens of thousands of people.
Kuzothutshulwa uliphuno sizokushaya kuzobaleka tu sizobadula bazobaleka tu sizobadula bazobaleka tu. Who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refuge in America.
Such sweet singing, beautiful African music, lulling people into satanic worship of murdering and slaughtering people because of the color of their skin. It's terrorism, and Trump is right. Let them come here as refugees.